Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for the 15th of September. We are over halfway now, moving through our first scan of 130 odd stocks in our watch list. So we're getting to know them a little bit, but I haven't finished going through the whole lot yet. We've got about another seven videos with about 6 to 8 stocks in each video. So, but we're getting there. This particular stock here is cloud software. So in this case here, it's obviously performed really well. It's above the March, February highs here. And it's at 200, which is a major trading level. I can count 5 waves up here quite clearly, really, as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4. And 5 for the third wave here, an A and a B and a C for the fourth wave, and then up for the fifth wave. So we should be looking at some larger ABC correction here for this stock. In terms of going long here, we would really need to see a very clear definition that wave C has finished here. And normally what we do is, well, we've got our first high, we've got this high here above the highest high here. We can eventually bring that down to the top of wave B here when that comes into play. And we should be able to build up further as well. We'll just need to wait for this other leg to come down through here, and this will be 5 waves here. So we'll need to look at that, and then we'll also need to look at the impulse wave up through this way here once that starts to help us confirm, and that will be part of our setup. Going along, we should be able to build in below the 200 and then above the 200, and then through group 1, which will be 10, 20 and 30, building in that way. So we really want to get 3 or 4 positions in this early stages of the next trend to the upside there. So we just really need to wait for this stock. Let's move on to our next stock. Organovo is therapeutic applications on human tissue. So this stock has, I don't think it's actually finished here. What I'm trying to do is count 5 waves down. Now, this is the high at this particular point, but it is a bit of a spike here, just one single bar. So sometimes they're a bit news driven, so just got to be a bit careful about that. So from this high, we'll look at this somehow as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And then from wave 2 here, we can look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So I'm thinking of wave 4 and then a wave 5 to the downside still to play out, one more structure to play out before we start seeing this start building to the upside here. So there's nothing really to see here just yet, but just continue to monitor this particular stock. Let's move on to this is a daily chart here for Pacific Biosciences, and it's a biotechnology company founded in 2004. So it's got a nice trend to the upside since the March lows here, and it does appear that we've got a nice third wave here and a fourth wave here. So this should take us up to around $8 on the on the wave 5 here, but that'd still leave wave 5 a little bit short here. I don't want to trade this at the moment because it's just gone. I'd feel like we'd be chasing it at this point. If I had a bigger setup here, a larger wave 4 pattern sitting across here, then I probably would. But I don't think it's really got the accumulation down pat to put us much higher at this point. So it can certainly fold back from this point. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of this. I'm not going to chase it. The setup's not there. And it also looks like we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in here. So we could certainly experience some type of correction back here again for this. And we may need to move wave 3 for that, depending on how far this falls back. But it's not, we're too late. If we'd gotten it earlier, that would have been okay, but it's not there at the moment for me anyway. Okay, let's move along. This particular company here, Pagerduty, is a software maker in the cloud space, and it hasn't really been performing as well. It disappointed investors in its earnings and Yeah, it's obviously showing up in its stock price here. I'm not sure of the count here though. I'll keep a little bit of an eye on it. I can see that from here we've got 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave here. And this is a corrective wave here. But when I look at this structure here as well, it appears to be an A wave here, then 3 waves here for probably a B wave as an expanded flat, and then all this down here. So we may actually have a low in here, but at the same time, even if that is the case, then I would still need to wait to see, I would need to look at 5 waves moving to the upside. So they need to be really clear at this point, and then an ABC pattern, and then we can move in from that point. Now, obviously, it's it hasn't got the revenue earnings to push it up, so it's probably not on the list. And even if I had wave 5 sitting in over here for some strange reason, well, simply because it's a high here, then we would see a larger correction in this space here of an A and a B and a C, and then back down into this space. So it was on my radar, but I'll need to do some more work on this one and see what their see what the company's got in their own pipeline there. So I'll skip this one. This stock here is interesting. It's an ADR, so it's a depository note. It's one of the largest interactive e-commerce platforms in China and in the world, and it's the second largest online marketplace in China by the number of number of users. Yeah, so it's one of the world's largest internet companies. There you go. I kind of really like this particular pattern, actually. If I can just take it back here a little bit. I'll just take it back to the weekly chart here for a moment, just so we can, that's all the data that I have on it. So it may have floated in this area over here, but what I can sort of see here from the lows in this instance, so we take that as the low where it's landed, we would have to look at this as a 5-wave structure and a correction, and then this is a 5-wave structure here, and an ABC here, and then this move here. Now this move here is more in line with with this one here. So you could look at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here with extension in it, but it's probably more likely as a wave 1 and 2, a 1 and 2 here, and maybe even a 1 and 2 or a third wave up here. So I'm not really sure yet. It will become apparent later, but what we can do is just work with what we know, and what we know at this stage is really this correction here that we're looking at. So just coming back to the daily chart here, there's a couple of ways to look at this at the moment. It's possible to have wave 3 here with an A wave here, a B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and actually completed here. And it does look a little bit sort of impulsive here, but we'll talk about this in a moment. But my count as an A and a B and a C wave here has obviously got problems in it because wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here in this instance. So we could put wave 5, this wave 5 sitting here, and then still having a look at a correction as an A and a B and a C coming down through here. I mean, at the end of the day, it should come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, so that's where it is. So it could get bigger and uglier, but what we need to take on board here and look for is a setup on the long side. So that's what we can do. And yeah, my first, I know that it's got overlapping wave structures here, and I know that's a problem, but it seems to sit right. But either way, it's corrective. But even if you look at it as an A and a B and a C, which is probably wrong because of this, but what sort of tweaks me in here is that we've got a little impulse wave here for this. So it's possible to go long here and keep a really tight stop on it at this point. We either do that or we wait for a little bit more clarity, and the clarity would be looking for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top of 90, which is a medium level here. So you could have a very small position here and then look to add over here, but this would be the one, because of the current market situation with the markets correcting, the NASDAQ and the S&P, we just need to be a bit mindful, because this can certainly just fade from here. But buying a new high at least get you, up there into that space. But we just need to be a little bit careful. This is obviously the resistance and support here. So being on 90 would be the trigger to go long at that point. Alrighty, let's have a look at our last. This company here is a healthcare software company. The company's primary product is a point of service platform. So it's performed reasonably well compared to the Feb-March drop here. And I think the couple of important points here for me, takeaways, is that I can count 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave and fourth wave here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can count 5 waves here. I know this is pretty ugly going across here. The best count I can sort of see here is looking at all of this is the A wave to here, then an A and a B and a C wave to this point, and then the C wave coming down through here. But the takeaway from here is that we have an impulse wave here. So that means that after a correction, this is pretty ugly, we should see another 5 waves up, right? The other point is that we've seen the market go sideways across here. Now, I know that most folks don't like that when they see that. They think it's range bound and so on. And yeah, it is. But at the same time, it's the accumulation process, and it's like a spring being loaded. It's not exactly like a triangle pattern, but it still has that accumulation process there. So all we need to look for here really is a nice tested support on the 30 here. So if we took this, for example, here, this high here, and then these lower highs here, we need this first high above the level, so we could go long like above here. So we want to see an impulse wave up here, and then we want to see the little ABC pattern here, and then we can look to go long on either of these highs through here at that point. And we'll just work out where let's just go to the 4-hour chart. So yeah, I was thinking from wave B here down to wave C here, and it counts okay. I know the current rally in the market with the S&P and the NASDAQ has got a pretty good chance of actually pulling back down for another leg. So we do need to be careful about that, but we also don't have this finished yet as well. But it's starting to look like 1 and 2 in here, nice strong third wave and a fourth wave and fifth wave. So we are starting to see it. We don't have it yet, so we're looking for this here. That's what we're looking for, okay? But it's not there yet. But this type of setup on a level keeps us safe and gives us a reasonable risk-reward ratio once it's triggered here. So you just keep the stop under the level here for the time being. And then what we can do is then, because we're on a major level here, we've got 1, 2, and 3 here. They make up group 1, and then we've got the midpoint here, the 35, and then we've got 38. So the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. So we normally use group 1 to build in from. So we can get 4 or 5 positions in this space here. Well, that's what I do anyway, and I just keep building. I try to get one close to the level, a small one, and then once we get another classic trading levels pattern on here, and then here, and then here, if we get it, then we can continue to the upside. But getting support on number 33 here, that will separate the order flow from being pulled back to 30 at that point. So getting a tested support, trading above here is not support. That's the first high above the level, but then we look for an ABC pattern and then support and then up. The routine by now anyway. So look, there's that group of stocks. I'm going to make another video today on another group as well, because I'm a day behind. But mid next week we should be finished with the 130 stocks, and then we'll start looking for trades. But those trades will go on to Trading Lounge into the Trades app at that point. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.